Hiya, I'm Mika, and welcome back to Myst 3 Exile. I got nothing. I got nothing to go on. I got nothing to work with. It's not giving me the same three angles. This came in, could shine over there to the door. Maybe... I hate to do it, but I think it's time to read. I always feared this day would come. For years, Catherine and I have dreamed of restoring Denis. We have dedicated our lives to the task, taking it upon ourselves to locate the citizens of Denis and convince them to return to their ruined city and rebuild. Our dream has become the dream of so many now. The progress we have made towards achieving it is something of which we all can stand proud. But I know now that it has been a mistake. The city of Denis should not be restored. It should stand forever in ruins, as both a symbol of our past mistakes and a memorial to all who lost their lives when Denis fell. The devastating events of recent months, the war on Terhani, and the death of Uta in particular, have driven this truth home to me quite forcefully. If we rebuild the city walls today, we are not giving approval to the very are we not giving approval to the very illness that destroyed our civilization in the first place? Are we not setting ourselves up to repeat that pattern again in future generations? I have put much thought into this tonight, and have found only one solution. If we, the men and women who survived the downfall of Denis, are to thrive, then we must break the pattern of hatred which has destroyed so many lives. We must begin our civilization anew. And we can only do that if I write us a new age. I have spoken with Catherine about this, and she agrees. I only hope the others will see it as well. Will these people never cease to amaze me? I thought they would object to my decision. After all, most of them link back to Denis specifically to see the city rebuilt. But when I told them why we should not restore it, their response was immediate and unanimous. Whereas yesterday they thought only of rebuilding, today they concentrate solely on salvage. They intend to take from their ruined city only that which is best and move on. Everywhere I look, the enthusiasm for this new task is obvious. It heartens me, even as I face my own monumental contribution. I have written many ages in my lifetime, from my first timid attempts under the tyrannical tutelage of my father to my most recent accomplishment, Averone. Never before has so much been riding on my skill. The age I am about to write must be all I ever imagined and more. How am I going to achieve it? Catherine laughed this morning when she saw me drudging out my old notebooks. I must have made quite the picture, sitting near the embers of a fire surrounded by countless commentaries and journals. Some of them seemed to be more dust than paper, but the hours I spent sifting through them was worth it. I don't immediately recognize that. Maybe. Ideas for what this new age might be are tumbling around in my head. There are almost too many to catch hold of. Obviously, I must choose some starting point as my anchor. Writing ages is a science, a precisely structured actuation equation. Equation of words. Every equation needs as its foundation an underlying concept around which the age can develop. In the past, I have written my books around whatever idea intrigued me most at the time. I wanted to discover how the age to which the book linked would manifest the results of that idea. Sometimes civilizations arisen, sometimes they had not. But whether a society had come to exist on the age or not, it was often in response to whatever concept the book I had written embodied. This time, my search for a concept must be weighed very carefully. I already have the civilization I wish to see develop. I know our history as a people, and the paths we have followed to arrive here. Today, I must write a book which will link to an age that will allow us to continue our way, growing ever stronger as one people. What underlying concept must this new age affect that will best allow our civilization to thrive? I fear I must think on this some more. It has taken me some time, but I may have found my anchor. It came to me as I was considering what I know about the survivors of Denis. We have seen so much tragedy in our lives, from the destruction of the city to the suffering and loss of loved ones due to plague and deprivation. Yet even in the midst of these adversities, my kinsmen and I have found the strength to keep going. We are tapped into our individual strengths and transformed ourselves into something much stronger. It is a characteristic I have seen in several of my ages, whenever I focus my writing on the inherent energy sources in a world. Long ago, grandmother taught me that no possibility for life in an age exists without the presence of energy. By tapping into its latent energy sources, an age moves out of stasis. It grows, transforms, and develops. Energy is the underlying fuel that powers all activity. To put it more simply, energy powers future motion. Why is that bolded? Is that a hint? Is that a clue? Did Blue come by with a blue little paw print and slap this page? Is that a clue? Yet as grandmother also liked to remind me, energy in an age takes on diverse forms. Each one has strengths and weaknesses of its own. How many forms will this new age contain? Which type will be its dominant theme? Tomorrow I will link back to Myst, and from there revisit several of my ages. Perhaps in my old worlds I will discover new ideas. I had almost forgotten how painful it is to revisit Myst. In the 10 years since my sons Cirrus and Aknar left me trapped on Kvir Island and burned so many of my books, Catherine and I have rarely linked back. I told myself we were always too busy. First with writing ages like Evron, then with searching the ages of Denis for survivors. I always said we would spend more time on Myst eventually. The truth is, I have been avoiding the age. Seeing the island in its current condition ignites such anger and grief. I am immediately reminded of the betrayal of my sons, as well as the cruelty and greed with which they plundered my ages. I know I am partly responsible for these acts. I constantly wonder if there was something I could have done to reach out to the boys before. Enough. Nothing can change the tragedies of the past. Like my Denis kinsmen, I must salvage what is best and move on. Perhaps in the process, I will find forgiveness and hope. Once again, I am back on Myst Island, having completed a lengthy sojourn through several of my ages. The trip itself was not as inspiring as I had hoped. The Selenitic age was especially disturbing. But has it not always been so? The very first time I linked to the age, its uninhabited landscape was shaking with tremors. At the time, I felt it was because of the energy in the age was unfocused, as if it were at war with itself. Stability finally came, but even after it did, I never truly felt comfortable there. I missed the more natural balance of ages like Channel would. Perhaps that is the lesson to take home with me. The Denis, too, have faced so much turmoil in their history. Their lives have been unsettled enough. Perhaps I should be striving to offset the energy that already exists within our civilization by providing it with a more stabilizing environment in which to grow. Striving to offset the energy. Okay, yeah. An environment in which the natural equilibrium of the world serves as a counterpoint to the upheavals of civilization. The more I consider it, the more I wonder if I should make nature the foundation of this new age. Worlds like Channel would attain civilization quite easily, primarily because of one reason. Nature encourages mutual dependence. I mean, that feels like it could be pointing to the puffy thing with the little frog down there. Nature encourages mutual dependence. That feels like it could be a hint of that. Maybe. As one life withers and dies, it provides nourishment so that another might live. Plants become food for other animals, and the waste products animals cannot absorb become nutrients to sustain the other plants. So long as nothing intrudes to upset this balance, nature can maintain itself indefinitely. An interesting metaphor to set as an example for my people. I think I will confer with Catherine on the subject. Her ages always exhibit symbiosis more dramatically than mine. Perhaps she should help me with this new age. Absolutely she should. That would be lovely. Imagine not having an age of your own, but a shared age built of a love for your people. Speaking of people's people, I mean, they're in their own age. I guess I don't need to ask about Catherine's people. We sort of resolved that. Sort of. We paid lip service to it. I'm so tired. I can barely think right now. We're not paid lip service. Like, we explained what was going to happen, but we didn't get to see it. My first thought upon seeing this person was that they were one of Gen's believers. And maybe. I'm so tired I can barely think right now, but I will force myself to stay focused, for I have not written anything in days. The moment I linked back to Denis, I was besieged with requests for my assistance. Master Tamon wanted to consult over which stone cutters were worth salvaging, and did I think the rock in this new age would be difficult to sound? Alma and Essel needed my opinion about a new history they had uncovered. Should they hold off on starting its translation, or would paper supplies be scarce in the new age? There were so many questions needing answers, I barely had time to see Catherine. She, of course, laughed at my dilemma, saying that I had no one to blame but myself. After all, I was the one who encouraged the Denis to start over. Naturally, they would look to me to keep them moving in the right direction. Unless some other force stepped in to change that view. Her words made me realize a fundamental principle I had thus far been ignoring. All this time, I have been debating whether to make energy or nature the underlying framework for this age. But there is another equation to consider. An age based solely on the future motion of energy will face constant upheavals, most likely at the cost of tranquility. And an age based solely on the mutual dependence of nature can become so balanced over time it may cease to tolerate change. Yet, to continue to grow as a people, Denis civilization needs both. Occasional upheavals followed by periods of balance and stability. I have seen such situations occur naturally on several of my ages. Each time it was because I centered the writing around some dynamic force that I had decided to make prevalent in the age. Such forces allow me to balance between forward motion and mutual dependence, to fluctuate. As one concept takes precedence, the other reduces until another force surfaces to change things. As Catherine's insightful comment reminded me, dynamic forces spur change. I am too tired to think more on this thought. Hopefully in the morning my thoughts will coalesce. We're almost there. We're almost there. Catherine surprised me today. Apparently, while I was off visiting my ages, she linked to Myst by herself. She did not say so, but I could tell that her visit had been painful. More than ever now, I am convinced we must find a place to begin again ourselves. Perhaps when I have written this new age for the Denis, I will put some thought into where Catherine and I might live. I cannot believe I did not see it before. All this time I have been struggling to describe the perfect age for the Denis. I have considered and then rejected several underlying concepts which I felt might best set the course for their future. As if I alone should determine how Denis civilization will grow. In my own way, I have become as egotistical as my father. In truth, I owe this realization to Catherine. Sensing my indecision about the new age, she led me on a walk around Denis. Salvaging efforts were well underway, with teams of people scouring the ruined harbor district. As I watched my Denis kinsmen deciding which parts of their culture to retain, I realized they do not need me to determine their future. They are quite capable of setting its course by themselves, regardless of what age I write. This realization has opened my eyes to the best way of approaching my task. I no longer need to worry about which underlying concept, energy, nature, or dynamic forces I should make prevalent in the age. Rather, I should strive to include them all. I must write a balance of systems into the descriptive book, enough so that the Denis people will constantly be challenged to attain their ultimate potential. As grandmother often pointed out to me when we spoke about ages back on Myst, balanced systems stimulate civilizations. At last I feel I am ready to begin writing this age. Indeed, I am eager to begin, and have already come up with the perfect name. I know grandmother would have loved it. Of course, Catherine could tell the moment I turned to her that I had finally found my starting point. I babbled on excitedly for some time before I noticed the smile she was hiding. It was enough to grow suspicious. She handed me one of my oldest age books. She must have picked it up when she linked back to Myst. Seeing the name, Jananin, emblazoned on the book cover, I could only shake my head. The one age I never got around to revisiting was the one that might have helped me the most. How foolish was I to have completely forgotten about it. I think after I finish this work, I should take one final trip, if only to restore an old fool's memories. Long book. You were from Janine then? Jnanin? No. No. Maybe there's other papers I'm missing. Because it doesn't feel like that gave me any steps. Why do you always lock yourself? It's a good system. It's a good system. It should always lock itself, frankly. It's just mildly inconvenient for me. But I understand for the sake of security. Let's put that there. Yellow, blue, green, red, yellow, purple, red. But why? What possible understanding have I gained that would allow me to actually do this darn puzzle? Because I have nothing. I still have nothing. And we're not even guaranteed that these 8 marks are the only places that they could go. There's theoretically infinite combinations. Like, not literally, but like, enough that it doesn't fucking matter. I need a solution. There's nothing else I can do without a solution. There's something I've missed. Something I'm continuing to miss. And I'll be so real with you. I ain't got shit. I ain't got shit. Can see if the door still works at the very least. We have the passcode. The light should be relatively irrelevant to it, right? Like, the light isn't anywhere as an input. It's more like giving you the key. No? Yellow, blue, green, red, yellow, purple, red. Guess there's no reason to leave the ball unturned then. What other positions are there? Because we just got the sunlight, right? That's the only thing that we can really work with. Or otherwise looking at that not lighting shit up. I'm missing something. Some other path. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. It's always a button I missed. It's always a fucking button I missed.
My sons, I promised to teach you the secrets of my ages. This one was the first step on your journey. Search the island, and you'll find 3 linking books. Each connects to an age. Hello, Atrus. Been a long time.
You got the wrong guy.
Sorry, I'm not there to greet you in person, but
Wrong
I just
person.
think it would be wise, considering how long I've been stuck here. Trapped in these lesson ages by 2 very greedy little boys. Your sons, Atrus.
Yeah.
Cirrus and Achenar.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not so little anymore, not so innocent. I thought a lot about innocence these last few years and what happens when it gets lost. Worried about relation? I have it. Worried about friends, relatives, people you can't get back. I know just how you feel. But if you want to do something about it, you're going to have to open this device. And there's just one problem. I've changed the 3 symbols that do that. So if you want to reclaim relation, you're going to have to take your own class. Find the 3 symbols, Atrus. And don't keep me waiting forever.
This is a fucking classroom? Shit. It sucks. I'm not here to learn. What do you take me for? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, aha. Okay. Nope, 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 nope. Seems real sharp. Dear fucking God. Do I have that lined up exactly, though? Will it lock into place when I do? Nope, nope, nope. In, in. Out, in, out. Need to change the focus a little bit, I think. Okay, I'm getting wildly different answers already. How do I know when I've done it right? How do I know when I've done it right? How do I know when I've done it right? Is it all in the 3 windows? I know all of them are in the 3 windows. Come on, come on. Nope. Not quite. Gotta zoom out just a smidge. Zoom out maybe a smidge more. We can try this. We can try this. Outermost marble. So like here-ish. Second innermost is down here. Third innermost is like here. Nope. I need to make a bigger circle. Oh, dear Lord. I can't tell what layers these are. Okay. There we are. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, outermost is up here, sort of in the middle of those top left 2. Second one is here. Denote that like this. Third one is like right here. And then fourth one is like right here. And that's just how I'm gonna have to notate the circles. Let's see if I am correct. I should do blue instead. Blue's the easiest to access. Zoom in, zoom in. Yeah, alright. Can line it up better. I'm gonna need to zoom out a skosh. Definitely want to bring it into focus. Alright, alright. Getting there, zoom out a skosh. Zoom out a touch more. There's gotta be a threshold, right? A threshold for like a good enough job threshold. Eh. I forgot that I could drag the screen that way. Okay. Notate down the blue room. Ooh. Got the outermost. It's in just about the same position as green, honestly. Which already has me nervous that I'm doing something wrong. However, second, definitely not in the same position. So it's second set on the lower right, going counterclockwise. Just about in the middle there. Third one in. Appears to be just on the bottom line. We'll notate it as such in the hopes that there is a sort of close enough rule here. Then we got the other one. It's close to the line on the second section going counterclockwise from the center line. And it's just barely off of that second line. Alright. With that, we are going to attempt blue. I thought that rock was our friend here. Classroom age, huh? Fascinating. No! One more. Because we need to make sure that the light's getting over there. Okay. Alright. We figured something out. Now let's see if we're correct. According to my notation, outermost ball 1 goes here. Ball 2 goes here. Ball 3 goes, I think it was like here, but I notated it as the bottom. Innermost ball goes here. Amateria. I think for the sake of my own ego, I'm going to do all 3. Gonna get them all opened up and then we'll call it an episode here. A little bit of a long one, but we'll be able to make more serious progress after this. Red. Because I've already noted down green. This one's just about right. Not quite. But again, if we're trusting this close enough rule, outermost appears to be outermost is in section 4. Center just about. second one is on line 3, just above it in section 2. We're looking for third, which is this right here. That's section 5. 5, just past the line, but noticeably past the line. And the last one is just above the right line. Okay. Now we're off. See if we've gotten this right. Yellow, blue, green, red, yellow, purple, red. And I wonder if the puzzles to get in here are gonna like relate to the internal puzzles themselves. If that's the case, green, I'm gonna note nature, comma, sounds. Blue, tracks, physics, marble, physics. Red, I'm gonna put light, passwords, passcodes, I guess, is more accurate. Light, passcode, mechanism, but no, all of them have sort of had mechanisms. Okay, this is red, so we've got one outermost down here, just about center. We've got 2 just above the line, it looks like, so we'll put it just above the line. 3 got over here, noticeably away from the line. And 4 just above the line. Voltaic. Huh, fantastic. For green, we have 1 up here, just about in the middle. We've got 2 down here. Hold on. Yeah, down here, just about. 3 is just off center of this line. Just a little over here. Now 4 was just about in line with the line, it looks like. Edana. I will say, and I feel this is maybe important to note, I am, in fact, pretty pissed off that I just missed another button and that's where I got stuck. It just keeps happening. I just keep missing buttons. I'm glad I wasn't stuck for longer, because if I had actually cracked open the hint book, because I got the hint book in advance this time, if I had actually cracked open the hint book, I probably would have spoiled something for myself, looking for the fact that it was a fucking button. Alright. Amateria. Because if we're looking at marble tracks in physics, that certainly feels like it's plausible here. But we're going to have to call that here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Remember to take care of yourselves, and tomorrow's another day. I hope to see you then. Bye.